I mean, one of the differences is that the MVA that you were fighting in Vietnam was 165,000 mechanized, with artillery, and that the Taliban is between 20 and 40,000. Also, the Taliban was hated by the people of Afghanistan. They weren't popular, Their rule was not popular. We squandered an opportunity between 2001 and 2005. Yeah. That may not be totally lost at the moment. It hangs in the balance. It may be too late, I don't know. But I think there is that kind of difference. We're not fighting an enemy that's 160,000 who's, just tactically kind of, in a totally different ball game to Vietnam. I mean, I'll also say that the other false idea is that Afghanistan is a bunch of warring tribes that can never be put together. It's, Afghanistan was a state that was formed in 1747 before Italy was, So, it's just that we went in there and we did such a botched job in 2001. After we went in there, what we left there was just was completely unreasonable. And we have to now see, the question is can it be turned around, or is it going to be just cost too much? Are we never going to achieve it? I don't know what the answer is. Do I have an opinion? I don't know. I spent my year in the Korangal Valley, and that's like, whilst the Korangal, in terms of the texture of the fighting and what was going through, I think is indicative of what it's like in Afghanistan. I mean, taking what happened in the Korangal is like saying that, representative of Afghanistan is like saying Detroit is representative of America.
Just one clarification on what comes later is that in Vietnam and other wars, we fought what we call a linear battlefield. The enemy was on that side, we were on this side. You had lines of advance in this. In this war, we're fighting because we're not fighting a force that is managed by a country. It's called asymmetrical battlefield. It's a 360-degree battlefield. We win wars by killing so many of their people and destroying so much of their infrastructure that they finally give up because they're sick and tired of it, and they sign that peace treaty on a ship and give us their swords. They don't own anything here. They don't care if they kill civilians. We're fighting an enemy that doesn't care about, they don't have an infrastructure to protect. There's not an easy answer to that, but that is one difference.
Also just to jump in there as well. And I mean, one of the big problems is that in 2001 when we went in there, for a very good reason. I mean, Vietnam, we went in, it was based on a lie in the Gulf of Tonkin. We went into Afghanistan for very good reasons. I mean, the Taliban was a rogue state that facilitated Al-Qaeda to plot and kill 3,000 people in New York City. That's what happened. And that's a fact. But what happened is that we allowed them, eventually they got away, and they've relocated. They've relocated into Pakistan. And it's like us, it's like the leadership was in the equivalent of New York, and now they're in Washington, now they're in Philadelphia. They haven't gone very far, but they've gone into a different kind of zone. And so we have to, if we are going to make this succeed, we have to put there has to be kind of real increased diplomatic pressure on Pakistan. And I think that maybe, in my personal opinion, is that one of the things that worries me is the division between state and Department of Defense. It's like if you look at the resources, it's like and I think the McChrystal, what's happened recently with the McChrystal firing and how that came about and what he was saying about the State Department is indicative of this very dangerous split. Like, this war cannot be won by DOD alone. You need to have, counterinsurgencies need to have other, you need to introduce rule of law and a police force. Like when Afghanistan, when we were occupying Afghanistan in 2002, the Americans said, okay, we'll train the army. They were very happy to pour resources into that, but they didn't want to train the police force. They left it to the Germans. The Germans sent 17 policemen to train the Afghani police. And the resources for the DOD is 600 billion, and for the State Department is 50 billion. Like, the State Department doesn't have the resources to train the Afghan army, the Afghan police force. But there can't be peace and stability in Afghanistan unless we focus on the police. Now, these may not be of any of our concerns. What I'm just saying is that split, and that what we saw McChrystal saying is indicative that there is a problematic split between DOD and State Department, and that's something that needs to be resolved. And we, regardless of our partisan politics, we have to ask the government to focus on both those issues, both militarily winning or bringing security and having State Department to engender rule of law. Otherwise, we might as well leave tomorrow.